what's up, man. I
I'm
mean,
telling you.
because I can see being able to add that in. So
Yeah.
drawing similarities from, I think Tyler Perry has used like music and inform his play.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't call it a musical, right?
Right. And I
So
wouldn't call mine musicals
So what's
either.
the difference? Because I know what like I've watched musicals before.
Yeah.
And how they use like, I guess a song as a scene.
Mm-hmm.
But how is like what is the difference between what
I
we're
don't want to
seeing
mess
with,
this up because somebody might try to be like, that's not a musical. In my opinion, I think a musical is a song is being sung to me every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And
so the frequency is higher.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like how many songs is in the production.
Sometimes they're like acting it out, like they're singing their parts.
Yeah. And that's, to
Kinda
me,
like
that's
Little
the
Shop
musical.
of Horrors.
Yeah. So,
Gotcha.
But I could be wrong. But like I said, to me, that's just my opinion of a musical. When you got a song every 10 minutes, it seems like, yeah, that's a musical at that point.
Gotcha.
So yeah, but my show's not like that. I try to give music, but not so much.
Not
when
too
it's just
much.
kind of like,
Nice balance.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Dialogue too, so.
Being a creative person, I know when you add in different layers and other things and effects, right? It can add a layer of complexity, right? So tell me how challenging is it when you add music? You got the band, you got the singers, you got...
It can be challenging, but I thank God. Well, when I first got my band, I didn't know how I would, because I've been using tracks, you know what I'm saying, before I had the band. So I didn't realize how challenging it would be, you know, because sometimes I think when I say something, people's in my mind and they know what I'm thinking. Yeah. And I'm not the best at explaining myself to people. So that was a little challenge at first because I'd be like, well, this is what I want. And they like, well, you got to tell me more than what you want. You got to give me a little bit more than just that because I need to know exactly what you want. So that was a little challenging in the beginning. But once we kind of got that working relationship, it was easy from there. You know, so that, yeah. Not too much, but like I said, when it came down to like it all.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so let's walk back, right? You got some fans out there. You got people that creatives, some people that want to write plays tomorrow. Could you walk us through some steps? Like what are like, you know, should they start with the name? You know, so like developing a production company.
Yeah.
So what are some big steps on how they go about that?
Well, I think the first step, this is what I did. I think you should make sure that you want to do it. That's the biggest thing. And also make sure your money is right. I want to say that because it's very expensive to do, you know what I'm saying, plays. And you got to provide for like a whole cast, band, and help. You know what I'm saying? So that and the steps, just making sure you come up with a great script that people would want to come and pay to see. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, at the end of the day, people are paying money to come and see a production. So you got to make sure what you're giving is worth what they're giving you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, and then also make sure you protect your brand at the end, like not saying things too early, you know, because when you say things too early, once it's out, it's out. You can't take it back. So making sure you done dotted every I, crossed every T, making sure, you know, on your end, things is legitimate before you just put it out there. Because people gonna hold you to what you say. Yeah, and I've learned that. You know, that's why a lot of things stay confidential until I know for a fact
that you're about to drop.
It's gonna happen.
Gotcha. Yeah. So walk me through the business part, like how you set up your business entity or your name, trademark.
So before I released Daniel Barksdale Productions LLC, like I was doing all this stuff privately, and then when it all went through and everything was I got everything I needed, that's when I announced it officially. Gotcha. You know what I'm saying? So. To answer your question, I think I answered your question correctly. So that and just keep certain things private until it's time. Like I said, until it's time to talk about it. You know. Yeah. So yeah.
So do you recommend someone start like brainstorming with the name first and then getting that LLC trademark, or
brainstorming is very important? Yeah, I think brainstorming before you go that route. You know what I'm saying, to know exactly what you want. Okay. So yeah, that's what I would definitely do.
So with you being like Daniel Barksdale LLC, right? A lot of people think plays, but when I hear that, I think about anything. Like you can put on shows. So could you go over that?
And that's what I wanted.
The perks of having a production company?
Yeah. And that's what I wanted, the name you had said. I didn't want it to just only relate to stage plays because one day I wanted to relate to just anything, you know what I'm saying, that falls under that umbrella. Gotcha. So, Okay, so ask me a question. I'm sorry. I want to.
Yeah, so like for somebody that's like, you know what, I want to do a production company, but they're thinking limited. So what else? Could you go over the things that production companies can do or productions that they can put on?
Yeah, I mean, plays and I mean, it's... course, TV, movies, stuff like that. Once it gets to that point, I mean, it's just unlimited. You know what I'm saying? The things that you can do when it comes to that. But just for right now, I'm doing theatrical plays.
But you didn't box yourself in with your name.
I didn't, because I knew one day I pray the Lord will elevate me to be able to do bigger and greater things than just plays. So, and I didn't want the name to just be, stuck to just one thing. I wanted to be able to go to wherever I'm doing it in that season, I should say.
Okay. Now, when you said protect the brand, right?
Yeah.
Why is that so important?
I think it's very important to protect your brand because, like I said, if I say right now my next business venture in 2025 is going to be blah 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 blah, but they never secured anything, then somebody sees this, they can go and do it before I even get a chance to, and then when I do it, then it's theirs.
Gotcha. So
you know what I'm
come
saying?
In second.
So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Especially, like I said, people just nowadays, I feel like they talk too much when it comes to great ideas and things that they really want to do for themselves. I'm like, just keep things, confidential until it's time to talk. And that's one thing I really tell my cast and anybody who works with me. They know that when it's time to talk, we will talk. But until then, we're not saying anything, because to have to go back and to say, oh, well, I know we said this, but it's going to really be this. It then gets people like, okay, well, they don't really know what they're doing. Because one day is this, one day is that. Just talk when it's time to talk. And especially when you got all your business done. Then definitely talk.
Yeah.
Because you got, some ground to stand on.
Okay. So what's a piece of advice for aspiring artists out there or aspiring playwrights, production creatives that you can give them? It's something that you've gained from just, from day one. You just like, okay, when I sit back, if I could go back, I would do this.
Well, I would say start small. You know what I'm saying? That's what I did. And I started in the church. It was literally at the altar. And the furniture I used was, the vestibule furniture in front of my church. We pulled that right to the altar and we had a plate right there. You know what I'm saying? I started small and I was thanking God for what I had at that time. And then when it was time to grow, I grew. So, I mean, the advice I would say is to definitely start small and making sure this is what you want to do. Because everybody who, has a vision in that moment, it may not be what you want to do for a lifetime.
Gotcha.
So, and I'm pretty sure, like I said, I'm grateful that I did start small, because had I just gone to where I'm at right now in the beginning, I don't think I would have been able to handle all of this.
So what are some common pitfalls that you see a lot of newcomers make?
I think probably just their eyes is too big for,
So what does that mean? Like go into that like a little deeper.
Like, it's like you're in it, you know what I'm saying? But then let's say I see this person, down the street, they're doing a production and it's like a sold out, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow, this is what I want, you know what I'm saying? But not realizing all the things that, you know what I'm saying, like that person had to go through in order to get to that sold out crowd. So they just immediately, instead of, like I said, starting small, they just go to the big theater, rent that out and say, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. And not realizing that, oh, well, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this.
Yeah.
Not realizing all the stuff that has to happen before, you get to that point. So when your eyes are just so big and you see all of these possibilities and things in front of you, not realizing that all the work that it takes to get to that, it can kind of be a downfall. You got to make sure, like I said, in that moment, this is what I really want, or do I want to start small and work my way there so that along the way I can get the knowledge and everything that I need in order when I get there, I'm not fumbling.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Okay. So give me like your most memorable moment, behind the scenes, funny moment, during, after.
So I start on time, and all my shows I aim to start on time. And sometimes I'm not rushing, but so one of our cities, we had somebody praying for us, and we were praying, and I was looking at the clock, and I was like, okay. So once the prayer got done, we had like 10 minutes or 15 minutes to kind of get everybody together. And mind you, the women, they had to put makeup on and get dressed, and the men, I mean, they were already ready. They had to throw on shoes, they ready to go. And I was like, okay. So we got everybody together in like less than 10 minutes up to the stage, ready to perform. And that was a crazy but memorable moment. But I was like, oh Lord, we might not start the show on time. Yeah. But it was pretty crazy. That's why we're doing a documentary for this new show, because I want people to see all the behind the scenes stuff, the craziness that happens, like, before we get to the stage. Because, we get there and we're like, all right, we're ready to do a show for you. but then people don't realize all the
All
chaos
the
that just
work.
happened, you know, before we're here. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So what's your most memorable, touching moment from audience member? Something that hit you here.
Probably just someone coming up to me and just saying that I think it was an abusive character in one of my shows, something like that. But they said that they had went through that and they had overcame it, and you know, by separating themselves from that person. And they was crying when they told me that, and was just saying like, "Thank you so much for, you know, writing that character, because I know if I can overcome, somebody else who sees this can do the same thing too. But thank you for just telling, like I said, a real story." And that was like, wow. You know, I was just writing, like I said, what the Holy Spirit told me to write, but seeing someone say that they went through that and crying and really emotional, I was like, okay, Lord, you know, so if it's helping that one person,
It's that
I
impact.
know it's helping whomever is watching behind that. So yeah.
Got you.
Sure, yes, sir.
So